I'm Courtney Roberts. I'm a visual artist residing in Philadelphia right now. I've been here for about 7 years from Connecticut. Just started making work about, I want to say, 2.5 years ago. Um, Started out with music for God knows how long, probably 12, 13 years I was doing that. Um, and then I started painting, doing a little bit of collage around right before the pandemic. And then once the pandemic hit and lockdown happened, I immersed myself fully in many different variations of visual art. And that's what I do now. I'm a painter. I work with mixed media on unstretched canvas, stretched canvas, on wood, whatever I could get my hands on. I got started in painting, in visual art, just because of a lot of free time that I had. Everything was shut down. I was collecting unemployment. And I just really needed something to do. And I had no other form of expression except for painting and making visual art. I was supposed to go on tour with my friend's band, Ellison Jackson. That's a little plug for him. I was going to play drums with them, and we are going to go on tour March 18th, and then the city of Philadelphia shut down on the 15th. So there was about maybe like a month, 2-month period, just sitting in my house, watching Jeopardy, watching movies, hanging out with a partner of mine at the time. And then I just got really bored and antsy and anxious. And I found some paint, found a couple canvases off the street, and just started doing that. And ball just kept rolling, kept rolling. A couple people purchased some stuff, a couple people expressed interest in work. And then I just fully immersed myself in it and went in. So my artistic process, it's pretty much the same all the time, which is a very vague statement, very broad. It's never really the same, but it is always the same. It's just, usually it comes out of like very manic states when I'm in very manic states. So the way I work is I don't really draw anything before. Lots of times I don't really have any plans of what I'm going to do, but I always put down lots of layers first in layering. I always probably put down some variation of like a white, whether it's a white with some blue tones in it or a white with some pink. Usually it's pink. I love pink. It's my favorite color. But layering, in between that, I'll just randomly go on my phone and write down like notes and words of what's going on inside of me at the moment. There's a lot of collaging randomly, but not in the sense of like normal collaging. It's just paper for texture or something that's in my life. I've been using a lot of maps lately that are from my grandmother's house when we clean that out. I feel like that's important to put those on everything that I'm working on now until I run out. But yeah, the process never really stays the same, even though I say it is the same. I work on this part, I work on this part. It's just like a big sloppy mess most of the time. And then I'll start to slow down at some point and take my time and look at it and see what I see, whether it's a image of a face or where I see that words need to go or where bolder colors need to go. And once I start slowing down, then stuff starts becoming a piece or it becomes work or it becomes art at that point. But yeah, my process is usually all over the place, very messy, very sporadic, very manic, until it's done. And I always know when it's done. I never have a problem. Someone asked me that the other day if I have a problem knowing when something's done, and I always know. Making art is an amazing tool that I have for myself, and it's very much like therapy, but it's not like therapy. Like I have a therapist, I talk to her every week. It's great. She brings out a lot out of me. We work on a lot of stuff, but painting and making visual art is something completely different. It's kind of like, puts me in like a meditative state. I always tell people when they ask, they're like, what do you do during the process? How do you feel? What's going on? And honestly, most of the time I wake up in the morning and I don't really remember what I was doing. I do remember, but there's always, every time, especially if it's a long session, there's like a blank spot, like a loss of time, almost as if you hear that, like when people are like, "Oh, I got abducted by aliens." There's always a loss of time where I'm just like, when did I write those words on there? Or why did I decide to put that color there? And there's no rhyme or reason. And that's beautiful to me because for me, it feels like I channeled something, whether it's an ancestor or some energy in the universe. Not to get all spiritual, but it does feel like that when I wake up and look at something, and I think it's really good. Other than that, it's just like, it gives me time to slow down. I like to go out. I like to party. I like to like be in the shit. And lots of times I don't know when to slow down or sleep or, take time to breathe. And every time I paint, that's what it gives me. And it's beautiful. I feel like I love myself when I paint. I don't feel any like mental health stuff like depression or anxiety when I paint. It's just full on, like I'm a force when I do it. And it's great, and I love it for that reason. When I'm not painting or thinking about art, I'm usually at work, but I work very little these days. It's a huge part of me. I quit both of my full-time jobs, I think in October of last year, 2021. I still have a job because I have to pay the bills, but I wanted to try out being a full-time artist, finally. So I work 3 days a week. Sometimes I work at a music venue, Union Transfer, on Spring Garden. And other times I am watching lots of movies, or in bed, or cooking, or hanging out with friends. That's been a huge goal of mine this year, is to be a better friend and spend more time with my friends. But yeah, I don't know, it ranges. Now that it's summertime, we're about to be summertime, I'll probably spend a lot of time on my bike. I love doing that. I love riding around the city. I love riding to random places that are kind of abandoned, like trying to break in, take pictures, exploring. But yeah, it varies. I like eating a lot too. I don't do anything outside of painting that's like cool. I just vibe. My work at City Arts Salon was an amazing experience. I could run down a list of everything that was positive. Start with the one that Kenny's great. He had a lot of people come through that I probably would have never met or would have never seen my work if I didn't do this. Gave me a lot of advice and told me I was good, which is always huge when you're an artist, especially like myself, an up-and-coming artist that's doing it very late in life. I got to meet David Horowitz. His work is phenomenal. Every time I look at his work, I'm finding new inspiration. I promise I won't steal from you, but I might borrow some stuff because it's really good. And then just like getting the opportunity to have friends, strangers, people from all walks of life get to see my work and give me pretty positive feedback. Every single one of them. I wouldn't have been able to get that without Kenny and City Arts Salon. So thank you.